how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Pretty good, pretty good. How are you today?
Good. I think your camera's sideways. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I thought I was gonna be able to have it sideways.
All right.
Let's
How's it
see.
going? Where are you coming from?
I am in Orlando, Florida.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
So it's still pretty decent weather over here. Thank goodness.
It's 10 o'clock. Nice. Yeah, my dad and some partners are in Orlando today also. So that's
Nice.
they're on the golf course right now.
Oh, nice. Hopefully they're
So,
having some good luck. Okay,
yeah.
still trying to get myself. There we go. Hopefully it stays.
You got
Okay,
it?
and congratulations on your baby.
Oh, thank
That's
you so much.
exciting.
Thank you. Yes. 7 weeks now.
Nice.
Thank you.
Fun, fun, fun. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of sleep.
Not much. Not much. You know.
Yeah,
But,
my daughter turns 1.5 in about a week, so
it's amazing.
I feel you.
It's funny because, like, I think you underestimate how much sleep you really need. Or I think you overestimate how much sleep you really need. Because, I began a lot less, but it's really not that big of a deal, honestly.
Yeah, once you get used to it, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, that's just how my body runs now.
Right. So, welcome to Pitch Investors Live. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. This is a great platform, great community for all entrepreneurs to pitch investors one-on-one, is also in front of an amazing group of people watching us right now. It's funny. I've taken tens of thousands of pitches in my life. I've seen it all, and love the platform because it's a great chance to see and meet new entrepreneurs and look for new opportunities. That's the name of the game for us. Every day we always look for new stuff. So love to hear what you got going on and see if there's anything we can do together.
Well, awesome. Well, I definitely do believe this is something new and fresh that's going on that we have, prepared here. But I want to start out actually with a question because I want to make sure that, we are kind of on a level playing field as we, move forward. So can you tell me where your knowledge base is when it comes to color guard?
Like the band type thing? Like band color guard?
We're getting there. Yeah, yeah. So you are familiar.
I not very familiar. I mean, I went to a pretty cool college. I had a great football program, Penn State, and don't know much about it. So. Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of like, those people that are there with flags and, some will notice the rifles and the sabers that they use as well. And they are, a beautiful addition to, a marching band, to kind of enhance their musical performance. So you are correct. And for those that are watching who don't know, that he, pretty much explained it, they are the people that you see with flags kind of illuminating the field. And what many people don't know is that there's actually a whole separate side to this called Winter Guard. And this is where the band goes away and it's just the color guard. And it's an indoor activity that happens through the winter time from pretty much right after football season and around to April is when kind of the national championships are. And then, summertime comes and what starts at that point is kind of the drum and bugle corps stuff that happens throughout the summer, and the color guard is part of that as well. So it really is a year-round, activity. They call it actually the sport of the arts because it is very athletic in nature, but of course it's an art as well. So in that phrase was coined by a nonprofit called WGI, which is called Winter Guard International. So they've pretty much been the overarching umbrella, for color guard for about the past, I believe, 40 years. So, a lot of people are seeing color guard and maybe just becoming aware of it, but it's been around and it's for decades. And prior to that has its roots in, military color guard, which is what a lot of people are familiar with, those in uniform, carrying flags before important events and things of that nature. So that's what we're talking about today. And so because there's this winter side, there's this section that's, unto its own, where it has proven itself to be a viable entertainment form. So the thing about it is that it hasn't been monetized yet. It's stayed in this bubble of kind of school age competition. It starts even as young as middle school, where kids will start training. I got into it in high school, and went through my 4 years being in color guard. It was even integrated as a class, like you would have maybe a period for basketball, or soccer or something like that, where you would go and train. It was the same way at my high school. So It does get pretty serious. And so that's where I actually first started to think about, really I was 15 and just kind of getting into it and thinking like, why is this not everywhere? Why doesn't everyone know about this? Why is it not on television? Everywhere. It's an exciting spectacle to watch. So I believe, and my partner and I believe, that the time has come for the sport to elevate and to become a profession. So, which it hasn't been. Traditionally, it's basically competition style. Mm-hmm. Schools and what they call independent groups, which is what you join after you graduated from high school. They come together and compete regionally and nationally. And we have international groups that will come as well. So it's widespread across the globe. And definitely it's time for the profession to come into play and to give that goal and the respect, that the performers deserve and that the sport and the art deserves. So what we're planning is an arena style show to give a reference. It would be sort of like your Cirque du Soleil, Blue Man Group, these large venue performances where we can really kick it up that notch and give you the show, that a lot of people have been, looking for within the community. And maybe that those outside the community don't really know about yet. So it'll be a good introduction. So we're in Orlando, Florida. Perfect place for, a show of this size. We see over, I believe, 19 million tourists a year. So it's a great place to kick this off and to get a lot of attention. So that is what we're planning.
Okay. So have you done anything yet? I mean, so tell me more, though. What's the business? Just to launch a show?
Yep. To launch the show, of course, once that's launched, there's a lot of ancillary, kind of means of income and things that we can do. Our plan is to start staple shows kind of in the vein of Cirque du Soleil, how they have their staple shows in certain cities, and then to branch off into a tour. And then with that comes, merchandising, workshops, a lot of different things that can come into play. But the central focus to begin with is the large scale arena style show here in Orlando.
Okay, cool. So where are you at with it all right now? Have you done any shows yet, or is it all kind of in the works?
It is all planned. And we've done the research on venues, on, potential staff. We have a short list. We have even reached out to a pretty special choreographer that's worked in the color guard world before. Because like I said, this is really untapped. You don't see a lot of, celebrity figures and people of the like that are, that have experience. Maybe they've danced before, maybe they've, played sports before, but there's not very many that have participated in color guard or have any really sort of solid reference for it. Right. But this person does. Because there's no contract in place yet, I definitely, I have to refrain from saying her name, but what I can say is that it's a choreographer who travels the world and is internationally known. You have seen this person on television, those who have watched So You Think You Can Dance. This person has been a choreographer on that show. And is really interested in helping us bring this to life because she's worked with the WGI organization and color guard groups in the past. So very well respected, and we look forward to having her on board. As far as the show, we've got the structure planned. Once we are able to hire the correct staff and choreography related, we'll actually be able to put, the rest of the pieces in place as far as, music selection and choreography and all of that. We have attempted in the past to, put on a show in the form of, a charity event to, give ourselves some exposure. The problem with that is the money.
Okay.
To get a venue of the size that we need, because you're throwing things in the air and really, really high, the traditional places where these events are held aren't really suitable. Which would be, your high school gyms and auditoriums and things of that nature are traditionally where they're held. And for the level, at the competition level, where they're doing things right now, they're still throwing and tossing things in the air. But of course, again, we're going to try to step that up a notch. So we need to have the space, to do so for the performer's sake, but also for the audience's sake as well. So that has been the major struggle. We have more than enough interest as far as participants are concerned, and people in the color guard industry that are excited, for something like this to come to fruition. So it's just really a matter of money to get things going.
Okay. And you have all the performers lined up?
We do have performers that are interested in auditioning. We will hold a formal audition for those, maybe outside of the Orlando area that, want the chance to. So, of course, there will be stipulations behind that. They'll need to, be able to either commute here or live here to be able to participate. But, I definitely think the interest is, once we announce it beyond what we already have, is going to be, really considerable.
Okay. What's your background? I know that you've performed and things like this. Have you ever done events like this before?
I've helped out with planning, but really that was, way back in, the high school days, as far as just helping things run, as a member of that community. So I have been an avid attendee, but not planned them. But I've been around the sport and behind the scenes for long enough that I, without a doubt, know that I could pull it off.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, because I know nothing about this, right? How do you market it? How do you get people to the event?
You market it like you would any other, show of this size. We've, the example, and I hate to mention their name so much just because they will be our competitor. But Cirque du Soleil is a really, interesting, vibrant, marketing plan where they market many different shows and have become a staple. So I think keeping it family friendly, and advertising kind of the shock and awe of it all, because this is new. And something that's going to be foreign to a lot of people entertainment wise. That's how we plan to approach it, as something fresh, new, and novel, and hopefully transition over the years to becoming that staple and that, classic show that you need to go see whenever you're in town.
Okay. And when do you plan on doing the first event? What's the goal?
Well, that's all pending on investment, really. But the plan would be for next May. To have the start of the show. We would do auditions in the first couple months of the year, spend the next few months planning and practicing, and then have our first show in May.
Now, do you have like a storyboard of the show and what it looks like and all that? Is there something I could see on it?
I do have a video for where you can see like where it's been used in the past. We really want to make sure that this initial offering is, as close to perfect as we can get. So we are holding those creative decisions for when we can actually get our creative staff on board and, have their expertise involved as well. So we can have a few discussions here or there, but barring contracts and things of that nature, none of that real work can be done. But once it can be done and will be done within a matter of months.
Now, is there like a story to the show? Is there like, or is it just There is. So it's like you said, you're working on choreography. So there's like a story and an entertainment value rather than just watching people flip things and jumping up and down and all that stuff.
Right. There is a storyline, and there will be an overarching theme. Our first idea for a theme, for the show is unity. So, that I think is far-reaching enough to be relatable to pretty much anyone in the audience. And so we will be choosing a story to follow. There will be kind of, like short skits, things of that nature in between the musical performances to progress a story.
Gotcha. Okay, how about like the money that you need to make this happen? How much?
We're asking for $500,000 for a 5% stake in the company. That'll get us basically to profit after 18 months. And so I think that's a great start, and I think we would be able to feasibly, pay that back within our goal of 5 years.
So how do you justify a $10 million valuation on it?
Revenue. By the end of year 5, we are projected to be making $10 million approximately in revenue. And that's based off of one show here in Orlando, Florida, and off of a ticket price of $40 for an adult. And of course, we have staggering prices for the different, seniors, children, etc. We'll also be pulling in sponsorships, merchandising, as well as, some tiered experience levels for the customers.
Okay. Honestly, those numbers aren't very sexy for the valuation, but do you have a business plan?
Yes.
Okay. It walks you through all the revenue centers, the expenses, is $500,000 enough, you think?
We're definitely, going to be doing it by the skin of our teeth there. It would be nice, of course, to have more.
So why not try to get more?
We wanted to try to keep it as attractive as possible for investors. So, we really went down, not really even to bare bones, but, we know that we have some options to be able to, purchase things maybe slightly used, like flag silks and poles and things of that nature. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room, but I think that that's enough, to get started.
Okay. I'd be happy to see your business plan. I'll be honest, this just isn't anything that we get involved with. It's just so out of our comfort zone, and I just don't even understand it all. Really.
I understand. That's actually the reaction that we've gotten
I
most.
don't know. I mean, I think you need like an industry partner for something like this, right? So who's going to put the money up and going to really help you. I just feel like your numbers are a little off. I could be wrong. We've been pitched on like shows like this before. Some of our friends have actually invested in shows. One of our friends actually invested in one of the biggest Broadway shows out there right now. Has made a lot of money off of it. But the success rate on something like that is so tough. We got pitched on bringing a magic show with a famous magician to Miami once. And the numbers are interesting because, you're relying so much on ticket sales initially. And if you're just off a little bit on ticket sales, I mean, that could screw up the entire business. And
I agree, which is why we've incorporated some other, means of revenue.
No, I understand. You're not going to be able to even hit those means of revenue unless you get ticket sales, though. Unless you get people there, and you create a buzz and interest. And I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, it's not something I would go and see. It's not in my interest level. Like, who is your target audience for this?
Our target market is millennials and baby boomers. So basically millennials and their parents.
That's kind of everyone. Okay. but drill deeper into that because everyone I know fits into that target audience. So drill deeper. Who out of that group, who are you targeting?
I'm talking to those with families. I'm talking to those who, want a night out on the town. I'm talking to those that are coming to vacation here, so it's drilled down. It really is. It's a large market, but it's supposed to be, I think, because it is literally for, all ages. We will and can adapt the show to be drilled toward, more distinctive demographics, like, the young adult, the 18 to 24s, and do an edgier show. We have that option, but we plan to start out as, very broad and family friendly, which is why we have an addressable market of over 150 million in the U.S. So I definitely think that that's to our benefit.
Is it more of an affluent market, kind of like I guess Broadway is in New York, where it's really expensive to go, or is it
No.
is it friendly, affordable for everyone?
No, we are starting our ticket prices at 40. Cirque du Soleil, the last one I saw, they were starting at 79.98. So Blue Man Group starts at, I believe for Florida residents, 65. So we've got a lot of room to grow on the ticket as well, and that's part of our plan to get people in.
So what type of venues are you going after? How many seats?
We're going after arenas. So the largest that we have looked into, I believe we would have 4,000 seats. But what we projected our numbers off of was a venue, a medium size of 2,000, and off of selling half of that venue. So I think our numbers look great for as conservative as we came at it. And there's definitely a lot of room to grow,
So you're talking big venues. I don't know if 500 grand is going to get you there. Just the expense. I mean, just the marketing expense it costs to get people to buy 5,000 tickets. Is a lot. The production expense. I mean, you're talking a lot. So, cool, very cool.
We've calculated it, and it works out. So when I send you the business plan, I'll send you the financials as well.
Right.
So that way you can see the breakdown.
Okay. All right. My email is brian@kevinharrington.tv. Okay. Feel free to email me. I'd be happy to give you feedback. Probably not something for us, though.
I understand. That's really been the major obstacle. We're introducing something literally brand new to a lot of people. We are trying to create a profession at the same time. So I definitely know it's not going to be, easy, and it's going to take some time to educate and then, see what's out there. So, but I will say, if you or anyone over at Pitch Live, anyone watching, knows anyone that might be interested in it or wants to discuss it more, I would be more than happy to speak with you all.
You just did my pitch. You just took the words out of my mouth. No, that's the great thing about Pitch Investors Live is that we've got people watching on multiple different platforms, and the video is going to stay online forever also. So people could always reach out to you if they're interested or they think they have some opportunities or synergies or whatever. So yeah, no, that's all. That's very cool. Thanks for doing that for me.
Oh, no problem. And of course, once we do get started, you will be one of the first that I will be sending tickets to.
There you go.
So.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Hope you had a good one, and appreciate it. Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.